Welcome to the Rewards Master. 2025 was a heavy lounge year for Nona and I. We visited 104 different airport lounges in our travels throughout this last year. So I'm going to walk you through the different lounges we went to, walk you through the value I feel we got from each of those lounges, how we accessed them, what cards made it available to us. And hopefully you can determine if airport lounge access is worth it for you and whether or not it should be a part of your travel setup. So if you would, please hit the like and subscribe button and let's look at it together. Now, as I walk through these different lounges, some of them were made available by specific credit cards and others were available to us because of the different cabin that we were flying in internationally. So the first one is status lounges. And what I mean by that are lounges that you get access to because you're flying in a business or first class cabin. And Nona and I went into 10, and I'm counting her and I together. So each time we'd go in together, that would be 2 visits. So we had a total of 10 visits between us to those kind of business and first class status lounges. Now, these are lounges that you really have to either have status with one of the One World or Sky Team or maybe Star Alliance, the different airline alliances, or you have to be flying in business or first class to access. Some of those we went to this year included the lounge when we were flying on Qatar in Dubai. That was a very, very nice lounge. And we were flying on first class, so we had a separate section from the business class section. Super nice, great buffet, great experience there. We also went into some that weren't all that impressive. The one that we flew out with Emirates from Boston, they just put you in kind of what seems like a low-level priority pass lounge. And that lounge had, some tears in the seats and the food wasn't that good. So that wasn't a great experience. But one of them we went into was the best lounge we've ever experienced in our whole lives. And I doubt we'll ever have a better experience. And that was the Al Safwa Lounge for first class passengers in Doha, which is unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. We had Wagyu medallions and we had giant prawns in the restaurant where you order. I mean, it has just an ambiance that's unbelievable with waterfalls all over the lounge. Just an incredible, incredible experience. So we went into 10 of those status specific or at least cabin specific type of lounges. Now we get to the lounges that were available because of our credit cards. And many of these were during our domestic travels. A few of them with Priority Pass were overseas, but mostly during domestic travels. And the first ones I'll mention are escape lounges. Now, the escape lounges I had access to, some of them because of Priority Pass, but I'm pretty much going to consider most of them it's because of my American Express Business Platinum card. So some escape lounges allow you access with Priority Pass. Others, they only allow you with an American Express card, either a Delta Reserve or a Platinum card or a Business Platinum. And so pretty much every one of them will allow you access with one of those high-end American Express cards. We went into 7 escape lounges. Now, escape lounges are in smaller airports. They're usually not in the major airports, although I do think Phoenix has one. But we go to places like Sacramento, Oakland, places like that. They have these kind of airport lounges. I went to one also in Puerto Rico in San Juan, and they're all right. I mean, the food's okay, the drink's okay. I mean, the seating is okay. That's just what it is. I would say they're a step above domestic Priority Pass lounges, but we were given access for those 7 visits because of the American Express Business Platinum card. The next visits we had weren't really lounges, but I still count them in this general category, and that is Priority Pass restaurants. This is where you get to go and use a Priority Pass account that still has this, and very few of the cards offer it. But you can go at specific restaurants in specific locations, specific airports, and you get $28 a person towards a meal that you order, food or drink. And we did that 4 times this year. So some of my favorites are down in the Houston airport. There is a Landry Seafood House. I know we went there at least once. We went to another one, I believe, in Boston before we left. So between her and I, we just had 4 visits, and that was made available through my Priority Pass with my City Prestige card. Now we talk about general priority pass lounges. And some of these visits we were bringing in guests with us because for part of the year, of course, we had a lot more guest access because of the way Capital One has been in the past versus how it's going to be in the future. But we went into 28 between us and our guests, 28 visits to priority pass lounges. Now, priority pass lounges are hit or miss. Sometimes they're fine, sometimes they're not so fine, and sometimes they're great. Generally, they're great overseas. Very seldom in the U.S. In the U.S., either they're not very good or they're okay. So we went into 28 of those. But any lounge is better than no lounge. And that is the basic principle of lounges. Now we look at the Capital One Lounge, which is a fantastic lounge. And we went into these lounges once in Denver and once at DFW. And the Capital One lounges were made possible because of our Capital One card, our Venture X, and then myself as an authorized user on the Venture X. That part will go away next year. But we went in 4 times and enjoyed the Capital One lounge. They're always good, always good. And of course, that's made possible because of the Capital One Venture X card. Now we look at American Airlines Admirals Club lounges. Now these were made available to us either because of my executive card. So when we're traveling together, I get free guests. So many times Nona and I went into Admirals Club Lounge when we were flying on American, usually through Dallas, Fort Worth, or Charlotte. And we went into those lounges because of that. Or when she was flying on her own, she has the City Elite card that gives 4 individual passes to American Admirals Club lounges. We went in 31 times in 2025 between the two of us. So 31 lounge visits. And Admirals Clubs can be hit or miss. They're never terrible, but some places they're better than others. Like I think of some of the greatest experiences have been like in Phoenix. We had the best meal we've ever had in a lounge with the exception of that Al Safwa first class lounge there. It was shrimp fajitas. It was really, really good. But then we've had others that were like, this is okay. It's barely better than a priority pass. So they're hit or miss, but we had 31 different times that we went into American Airlines Admirals Club lounges in 2025. And that's because of the executive card and her Strata Elite card. For Delta lounges, we either used my Delta Reserve card that gives 15 passes a year and then gives 4 guest passes, or we used my American Express Business Platinum card that gives 10 visits a year. Between the two of us, we went into Delta Sky Clubs 15 times. This next year, probably won't fly Delta very often, and I won't have any guest passes. So I might go into one a few times, but probably not all that often. But in 2025, we went in 15 times. And I think Delta Sky Clubs are the best of the airline-specific lounges, like American, United, things like that. They're really, really good. I love them, and I just don't fly a lot of Delta, so I don't think that's going to be a lot of these lounges in my future. But I really, really, really do like them. The American Express Centurion lounges. I did not upgrade my card, my business gold card, to the business platinum until really late in the year. Now, I could have had access to these, and at least once I had access with my Delta Reserve, but I only went into Centurion lounges 3 times. And I think I just wasn't flying through airports that had them, or I had a short layover and they weren't convenient, so I just went to the Admirals Club or the Delta Sky Club. But 3 times we went into the Centurion lounges. They're very, very nice, and you just can't beat the quality. And so they have a lot of locations as well, which is very good. So 3 visits to Centurion lounges. And the last lounges I'm going to mention aren't really lounges either, but they are experiences. So on our long day, going to different lounges in JFK International Airport, we took some time and used my priority pass with the City Prestige card for experiences. And we had a spa treatment or massages in those massage chairs in the JFK. I think it's called just the spa. So that was kind of a neat experience. We enjoyed it very much. And that was made possible because of the priority pass on my Prestige card. Now, when you add all that together, that was 104 lounge visits between us, which just barely beat out 2024. I think if I remember back correctly, we went to 102 lounges in 2024. So we're upping it just a little bit. we'll see how 2026 goes. Now, when we do the numbers on the benefit to me and the return on my cards, I found it to be very interesting. So I wanted to figure this in a very conservative way. Some people say that lounge visits are worth $79, or others say $59 or $50 or $40. I figured this extremely conservatively at valuing just all the lounge access at $20 a visit. Because if you go in and you get something to eat, get something to drink, you would have paid for that out in the terminal. I mean, a sandwich out in the airport is going to be, $15 or $20. So I think it's easy to justify that every lounge visit is worth $20. So when you add all of that together, this is how each of my cards break down. The lowest value we got was from the Business Platinum card, and that's simply because I only had the Platinum card the last 2 or 3 months of the year. But we got enough lounge visits that at 9 visits, that's $180 in value, which does help to offset the annual fee without any question. The next would be the Delta Reserve, $360 in lounge visit value at $20 a visit. So that really helps to offset, especially with the Delta Reserve also giving you all of your money back through the credits like the Delta Stays and the Rideshare and the Resi and all that, plus a companion certificate, plus $320 in lounge value at a very conservative estimation. That is fantastic. I love that card. Then there's Capital One. So since we use that both for some Priority Pass and also for Capital One lounges, we got about $360 in value from lounge access with the Capital One Venture X. And of course, having an authorized user on there, that'll go down next year because of the lack of benefits for authorized users. But $360, that was pretty good value. The City Prestige with things like some of the lounge access for Priority Pass, also with Priority Pass restaurants and experiences, $440 in value. For a card that's only $495 a year, that's pretty good, especially with all the other stuff you get with the card. So I'm really proud of that. And then by far, the one that gave us the most, even at this very conservative $20 a visit, the AA Executive card that's only $595 and you do get some credits, but the lounge access was worth $620 to me at $20 a visit, which is very conservative valuing. So that is what I got this year. And I think that, I pay a lot of annual fees, but I got a lot of benefit from my lounge visits. Tell me, did you stay in a lot of lounges this year? Did you use your cards? What cards were most valuable to you for lounge access? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for being here today. Consider my channel membership, $2.99 a month. You can cancel at any time. Do dedicated videos for channel members. Also, early release my videos for channel members. So check that out down below. Appreciate you, and I will see you here next time.